which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Denso? Here. Commissioner Spencer? Here. Commissioner Jensen? Here. Commissioner Krieger?
Here.
Commissioner Cole? Here. Commissioner Begue? Mayor Blanky?
Here. Next is the approval of the regular meeting minutes.
I've got a change that I'd like to see made on the last page, where it says, I accuse Han of not providing accurate information. And I think the term that should be there is accuse Han of not providing complete information.
Anyone else?
I will make a motion to accept the.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Passed. Approval of the bills. Thank you, Summer. $185,551.29.
I have a question about it. We have paid, let's see, how many, 1, 2, 3 bills to consumers for almost $2,800. What are all those for? You know?
Yeah, I don't know if Kathy wants to answer it or
Well,
she's here tonight, so.
On the consumer bills, they don't, come in all at the same time, so some of them are gonna be the street lights, some are gonna be the Riverside Park, the ball field, City Hall. Is that all of them?
DPW,
Boat ramp,
yeah,
Okay.
lift stations,
yeah.
and they send them sporadically. So, and they're always due, we pay them by whatever their due date is, so.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up to that. I'm guessing that because it's all different meters and all different, there's really no way to consolidate that billing into one?
I've asked before if consumers could send us just one master bill and then just tell us meter 700 South Scottville Road is this amount. Because at Riverside Park, we probably get, and Kathy can confirm, but I mean, I think we get 5 bills for Riverside Park alone for all the different meters down at the park. And then the lift stations each have one. City Hall has 2.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is we get multiple bills throughout the month. Instead of, but they said they have no way of sending me a master bill and just noting this meter, or that meter. Because I asked several years ago because this is nothing new. It's been.
Well, I can imagine it, yeah.
That was one of the first things that I had to teach Kathy is a cheat sheet to come up with the meter number so you know whose bill it is. So they don't make it easy. Yes.
My guess is they probably could,
They don't want
they just don't do it.
Got it, yeah.
Anyone else?
Malvern Sanitation Service. Don't we have a line from the River Park up the hill for our sewage in the River Park?
We do, but we unfortunately have an old septic tank that gets used for the one bathhouse because of the way it doesn't,
Oh,
yeah. So that old bathhouse still has a septic tank that needs to be pumped every so often.
okay,
So yes.
thank you. I have no other questions.
Anyone? Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve those.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Anybody from the audience like to speak to the commission tonight? Not communications?
Quiet this evening.
City manager's report.
Just a little bit of a follow-up on my notes. Water main replacement project is moving along. I talked to the engineer this afternoon. They have canceled the progress meeting for tomorrow. He felt it wasn't necessary because they are almost done with the project. Concrete and paving will be later this week, and then all they have left is some restoration items. So the project is very near complete. So things have moved along nicely, they got everything done. Luckily, the weather has been very cooperative, so things got paved. Also, you may have noticed if you were out, they paved, separate of the project, but they paved James Street, and they also paved Evergreen, and I'm assuming they got to the parking lot. I haven't been over there, but they were gonna do it all at the same time, so I'm assuming they got that patch in the parking lot. So, you know, the weather's been nice, Ruth Riley has been working, and they worked this weekend on paving. So, project-wise, they're just about done.
I have a question about that, about the project.
Yeah.
There's a spot that's across from where I live on Main and Maple. And I don't know if this is happening anywhere else, but I've noticed it there. And there's the corner, I don't even know what you'd call them. They're like the treads that are on the ramps to the walk, to
Oh,
the
yeah.
crosswalks, the little bumpy.
The handicap, yeah.
They have this plastic covering that should have been peeled away.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's some of them that still have that plastic covering and it's just sort of shredding away and it's quite messy looking and it just looks weird. And so I didn't know if that was something they could go.
Yeah,
through
they're
and
probably
scrub
just
off or whatever they
missed,
need to
yeah.
do. And like I said, I know that it's, what corner is it? Hold on, let me get my bearings. The southwest corner has them on there. I think the rest of that corner is all taken care of.
So southwest?
Southwest, so in front of the old Stansel house.
Oh, okay.
And, but I don't know if there's any other corners along Main Street that still have that or not. I haven't.
That's a punch list item, so I'll, yeah.
Okay.
They do.
The other ones have it too? Okay, so I'll just
Oh,
have them
okay.
check all.
All right, I just wanna make sure that was gonna be on the.
Yep, I will make sure.
All right.
Okay, so project is coming along. Just to reiterate, North Main Street, we were watching them paint them that day, and they weren't done 5 minutes, and it just downpoured, and it looked like a river of yellow washing down the street. They came back a couple days later and repainted the stripes, but it didn't adhere because of the other ones were starting to bubble. So they came back last week, they took a look at it and said, you know, if they paint it again, they think it's gonna happen a third time without going through and scraping off the street, every single one of those lines. So they suggested just let the winter plows do what they do, let the plows take it all off, and then they'll come back in the spring and we'll have freshly painted lined streets. So they're still very visible, I mean, you can still easily see the parking spaces, so it's not like there's no markings out there. But they're gonna come back next spring, clean it up, make it look right, and that's of no cost to us for them to come back in the spring. So, I just told them go ahead and do that. So if everybody says, oh, they look horrible, we know it, they'll fix them. The dump truck, good news, about $1,100 less than the estimate. Bad news, cop car had more problems than they estimated, so we're still ahead of the game, but, that's the way it goes with vehicles. I did receive one variance request to allow a main floor residential apartment within the downtown. I have a second letter out to an owner of a building that, we've been told also has a main level apartment in there. And I would like to hold a public hearing to do both of those at the same time. I had given a 30-day reply period to both owners. And to date, the other date comes up in about a week. So if I don't hear anything, I will move forward with the one variance request, and then I'll have to work with Tracy on what to do with the other one that may not have applied to us. So probably in December, the first meeting in December, we'll be working at a variance application for a main level residence. I had another company give me a quote on the exterior of City Hall. I'm gonna be calling a finance committee meeting and we're gonna review all those quotes. The quote did come in late this afternoon, so I do have that quote. He got back to me a little sooner than I anticipated because he was just here last week, Thursday, Friday, so. Larson started on the sidewalk work today. They were tearing up the sections of South Main Street on the River Hill that had heaved, if anybody saw that. We're not sure what happened. They were gonna try to do some investigation when they did it, because we hope it doesn't do it again. Normally that only happens if tree roots or something pushes it up, and there are no trees right there. So it really makes no sense, cause 2 sections, if you didn't see it, came up to a perfect point. So they're gonna work to correct it, cause it's obviously a trip hazard. My DPW painted them to make it known for the summer, to highlight that there was a problem there. So that's getting done, and then they're also doing some work for 5 cap on our 50/50 sidewalk program. So if you see Larson's out and about, that's what they're doing. Great news, the old railroad building was demolished. That has been 10 years in the making. I mean, it's been a long time. They're still working on, they found some tires and there was some hazardous material that needs to be hauled off site. So that is still there, but the building is down. So thankfully that's been taken care of. Working with Amber Township and the Rural Fire Authority to schedule a meeting sometime after the election to talk about the wage reimbursement. And then just a reminder, the polls are open tomorrow from 7 to 8, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So get out and vote. And then one last thing that wasn't in my notes, I would welcome all of you to stay after the meeting. We have cupcakes this evening. This is Mayor Mackey's last meeting. It's also Commissioner Jensen's last meeting. So we purchased some cupcakes. So we'd like you to at least take one home with you if you don't eat it here. So stay after, they're in my office. So.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? None? City Attorney?
Worked with any and a few zoning issues, had a good ride around the city to check on see how some progress was being made. I'd like to claim some credit for the railroad building, but that wasn't me. I assume they just got around to it. They got tired of you yelling at them. Something there, so good job there. I've been to court a few times on city misdemeanors, and that's all I've got. No crisis.
Questions? Thank you. Police Department, Chief?
I really have nothing to add, other than what's in the report that is provided.
Any questions? Thank you. City Treasurer?
Included in the packet is the September balance sheet and then the revenue and expenditures report through October.
Any questions? on
Bruce
those?
got a question.
I have a question.
Alright.
That homework's coming, Bruce.
All we gotta do is find it. On Fund 590, sewage disposal fund. Item 150 says a sewer plant. $7 million is the value.
Pipes in the ground.
Oh, it's not the plant.
No, we don't have one of those.
I know,
Unfortunately.
that's what I
I don't know why, but that's what the accounting standards calls it.
Okay.
That account is called sewer plant,
And
so
the same thing for utility plant. Under the water, that must be the line.
the line's correct.
I'm thinking, are we putting Weddington sewer plant in here or what?
Feels like it's something.
We're gonna have to.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you. EDA?
The Harvest Festival Committee met last week. It was a good meeting. We had fewer participants than at the previous one. So we're hoping to see an increase at the next meeting. It was the consensus at that meeting to move forward with having a festival in 2017. They started a couple little committees. A committee was formed, a 2-person committee to work on fundraising. They felt the need to start fundraising early and raise additional money. This year's festival is in the negative a little bit. And so they wanna work on that and have fundraisers throughout the year instead of just trying to wait till the very end to fundraise. So 2 people are working on that. They're both new to the committee. And then another person volunteered because a lot of people talked about wanting to have a carnival at some level. And so one person was in charge of going out and contacting carnivals to see if they would be interested in coming to Scottville. And I did get an email from her this week that she was in contact with one that would be interested in coming to Scottville. It's one of the larger name carnivals, it's Elliott's. And it looks like their time span is the following week from when we would normally have it. It's been traditionally right around that third weekend for us. Dates 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there. This is looking out to 21, 22, 23. But so they're sending us a packet of what are their needs, what are their space requirements, what profit margin do they give back, are there any upfront costs? They're sending all of that in a packet to us. So we hope to have that sometime this week. I believe she was gonna have it sent to her and then she was gonna bring it in here to take a look at, because she again is new to the committee. So it looks like Harvest Festival at some level will be a go for 2017, and the committee is working on it. There is still a need for more committee members. Their next meeting is going to be December 7th at 6 p.m. I think it's going to be at the senior center. I've not yet confirmed that with Marcia. She hasn't gotten back to my email. So we'll announce it, we'll put it out on Facebook, we'll let the media know, but December 7th, 6 p.m., likely at the senior center, so. And that's what's going on with the,
That's a Tuesday, right? Is it?
I think it's a Wednesday, yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Any questions? New additions or deletions to the agenda?
I didn't have any.
Lawn mowing agreement.
The season, well, in theory it should be over, but if any, like the rest of you, I mowed my lawn yesterday, so. I talked to Todd Sorensen a week or so back, October 27th, it looks like. He asked about mowing for 17, and I asked for a proposal. And he submitted one, keeping the prices the same, which was $300 per mow for the cemetery, $2,400 for the cleanup. And then we also have been purchasing wood. That was not as part of the original contract, but we purchased wood from him for $2 a bundle. So he threw that in here as well, but it's not referenced in the contract. I thought he did a good job this year. There was one little snafu at the beginning of the season near Memorial Day where he mowed it early, and by the time Memorial Day got here, it looked like it needed it again. Talked to him about that. I didn't have any other further issues. I got some compliments this summer. I talked to Debbie. We didn't hear anything negative here.
It was really quiet.
It was for the cemetery. So, I would recommend to renew the contract at the same terms for 2017 as 2016. The contract allows us to do that as long as the prices don't change. So.
Comments?
I have a question. It says in here, the spring and fall cleanup, is that just at the cemetery or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just at the cemetery, yep.
Okay.
He picks up all the leaves.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Anyone else?
A lot of leaves.
Yeah.
Somebody really need to make a motion?
I would make a motion to extend the contract to 2017 for TNT Enterprise.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion is carried. Thank you. 425 agreement update.
Yeah, I received the letters that were attached, one from Dr. Squires, one from Dr. Simone, asking that we put the 425 agreement on hold. Doc Squires went into a little bit more detail in his letter, just saying that, he's, working hard to try to bring additional healthcare providers to the area to work on the healthcare complex there. That hasn't been going quite as well as he hoped it might be. So at this time, he wants to not move forward with the 425. I did talk to Jim Galley, Amber Township Supervisor, and he received the same letters. And we were in agreement that, without them moving it forward, that we would put it on hold. We did talk, Jim and I, we were looking for like a 20-year agreement. So, and that's not what Doc Squires and Doc Simone were interested in right now, so we've put that on hold. So nothing to act upon, just information for the evening.
Right. And the 41st organizational meeting.
Yes, I apologize for my typo in there. It's not Monday, September 14th, but Monday, November 14th, so I apologize, because I was looking backwards instead of forward. But so next Monday night, 5:30, we will meet. We will swear in the newly elected and the re-elected commissioners. You will also vote for a mayor and a mayor pro tem. So any of you, that are on the ballot, Marcy, not on the ballot, but please come to the meeting. The rest of you and then the new commissioners. So anybody that's elected that isn't here this evening will get a copy of that agenda. The meeting does not take very long, usually lasts maybe 10 minutes. There's no business on the agenda to act upon, new or old business. It's solely to swear in the commissioners and elect a mayor and a mayor pro tem. So for Ann and Dick, this is your last meeting, so we thank you very much for your service. You get next Monday night off, but for the rest of you, please attend, so.
Thank you. New business, resolution to pay special assessment, winter tax for lawn mowing.
Yeah, Debbie prepared the resolution tonight. There are 5 properties that have not paid their summer mowing. And as you can see, some of them are rather large, which means we mowed them numerous times over the summer. We do not like to mow, and it is definitely cheaper if we don't mow your lawn, but we will do it in accordance with the ordinance. So tonight, we're asking you to place the special assessment for those 5 parcels on the winter taxes.
The motion,
I'll make that motion.
your second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Resolution to place assessment on winter taxes for delinquent water bills.
Similar, those are 5 properties that have outstanding bills. Some of them are vacant homes. One of them is a home that doesn't have water to it, but people live there. The other ones are, one is an occupied home as well. And then there's a foreclosure on there, so. But anyways, doesn't matter, 60 days more delinquent, special assessment, so.
We have a motion,
So moved.
your second.
I would second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, and the motion is carried. Hearing the citizens, anybody from the audience?
Don't forget my pay request,
Okay.
water main project,
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
I was gonna say, that's a big one to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cheaper if we did.
So, yeah, what you have before you tonight has been prepared by our engineer, is pay request number 4 for the water main project. This would give B&L Contracting $327,648.62, and then $50,019.20 goes to the engineering, for a total of $377,667.82. That is taking into consideration liquidated damages on the part of B&L. So tonight, there was an email that was attached, it was quite a large sum,
46,000.
46,000 in liquidated damages, yep. So, it is the engineers and my recommendation this evening to approve the pay request. What happens is I will send that over to rural development tomorrow. They will approve it, they will transfer the funds into our bank account, and then Kathy and I will go to the bank once the funds have been received and cut 2 cashier's checks to each of them. So the money comes from rural development as a pass-through, so we don't cut that check out of our normal bank. We have to go over to the bank and receive cashier's checks to do that. So that usually takes about a week to process.
You have a motion?
I make the motion then. Pay the bill.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same, motion is carried. Now, anybody from the audience have anything they would like to say? All right, commission reports and comments?
I go back, excuse me, I go back to the long line. We charge a flat rate for that, or by the hour, how do we charge?
He receives $300 every time he mows the cemetery. That includes both the stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
individual homeowner.
oh, I'm sorry.
Not when our guys mow.
We charge an hourly rate, equipment rental, and administration fee as well, right? Overhead. So it can range, and we round to the nearest half hour or the hour.
They do it by half hour.
They do it by the half hour.
It's never been less than half an hour, so.
Yeah.
And we don't wanna do it.
No.
It's very
So
expensive.
can we increase the cost of that? So it makes it prohibitive for the
I don't
homeowners
think it's
to
gonna make a
let the
difference.
city do it?
I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
It won't make any difference? Then I don't know
lives in the house.
Really?
Watches us mow it,
Mhm.
and he doesn't pay it, so it goes on the taxes, and I can tell you the taxes are not paid either.
Though it sounds like something the finance committee could address.
Yes, I can add that to, because we have a meet anyways to talk about the other, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a couple more. We have a beautiful North Main Street now. But we still have a cone over there because consumers haven't fixed that thing over there.
I will call him again. I'm gonna talk to your neighbors who I'm going to talk to. Who works for consumers.
Oh, there you go.
I should.
Maybe you should talk to him too. Let's both talk to him.
Yeah, okay. I talked to him today, but I didn't talk to him about that. The other thing I have on my mind is the elected official compensation board. Did we do anything with that?
We can't until the odd numbered year.
Oh, really?
Yes, they can only meet in odd numbered years.
Oh.
They can, so next, starting in January, we can do that. We can't do anything in an even number year. They have to meet non-election cycle.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to the fellow commissioners for your work since I've been on the commission, and I've enjoyed working with the commission. It just doesn't fit in my life right now, but I'm planning to continue volunteering for the city and maybe running again in a few years when my kids are no longer in my hair. So.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
And the mayor
My,
also.
my 11.5 years here and my 9 years prior to this, you know, so I'm on my 21st year now. Kind of gotten used to it. It's time for someone else to do that. I think every once in a while I think about all the people that I've run into in the commission, where I was before, after, and here. And it was one, that was a little bit unusual we had before. She said she was a witch, a practicing witch, so that was one of our fellow commissioners.
Not here though.
No, we have- no, we'll talk about it.
Not that answer.
So anyway, it's been enjoyable and I met a lot of people as a result of it, and it's one of my cherished memories. So thank you for having me on the council.
Well, thank you.